It has been almost 4 years since legendary Canadian strength coach Charles Poliquin passed away. The man had an intellect about strength training that remains unmatched in the fitness industry. Even today, when I'm reading his books or old T-Nation articles from 2000, I always find some nugget that I can add to my toolbox as an athlete and coach. Poliquin left a legacy behind that will continue to benefit lifters for many more years to come. Back in 2018, I published a video where I laid out 3 Poliquin principles that have made a big difference in my own training and that of my athletes. It was one of the first long-form videos I ever posted on this channel. As of today, it's the most watched and most liked clip I have produced. If you haven't seen it yet, click the link somewhere up here to get up to speed. The positive response tells me there are lots of lifters, athletes, coaches who want to learn more about Charles Poliquin's training methods. So I decided to shoot this video where I walk you through 3 additional Poliquin principles that will help you get better results in the gym. First one is supersets. People associate the word superset with bodybuilding training, where you pair 2 exercises that target the same muscles with limited rest periods. This leads to a massive muscle burn, but that's not what we're talking about here. Poliquin called his way of supersetting the A1, A2 method, where you train opposite muscle groups. Another word for it is antagonist supersets, meaning you do, let's say, a dumbbell bench press, rest 90 seconds, then perform some type of row, rest again 90 seconds, go back to dumbbell bench, and so on. I recently published a detailed video on supersets, their benefits for athletes, and how to use them for more gains. You can check it out here. But to give you the short version, pairing movements for opposite muscle groups allows you to complete more training volume because you're not sacrificing how much weight you use. If you first perform a bench press, rest for a bit, then continue with dips, your performance on the dips will suffer because your chest, shoulders, and triceps will be tired from benching. Even worse, once you go into your second superset, starting with dumbbell bench, your performance will drop even more because now you're tired from not only your first set of benching, but also the dips. No doubt, this type of training causes a ton of fatigue and you'll get sore, but for building strength, which is the goal of strength training, it's not optimal. A better way is to combine the bench press with a pulling movement. Could be a chin-up or chest-supported row. Since you're targeting different muscle groups in these 2 exercises, you'll stay more fresh and you can lift heavier, which leads to better strength gains. Not only that, you can complete more training volume in a given time frame compared to doing each exercise one by one. On dumbbell bench presses, you would normally rest 3 to 4 minutes between sets. By pairing this movement with a row, you can cut that rest period to 1.5 to 2 minutes without seeing your performance drop. This is huge because it saves valuable training time. If supersets can give you the same results in 50 minutes compared to finishing a session in 75 minutes doing straight sets, then I'll go with supersets every single time. The second Poliquin principle is clusters. Not a widespread training method by any means, so you might be wondering, what are clusters exactly? Just the other week, I published a video on hypertrophy clusters for athletes. Check out the card up here for details. Poliquin liked to use clusters to improve maximal strength. This approach is more for advanced athletes. What you do is you take your regular set of, say, 5 reps, and perform each rep as a single with a short break between them. This allows you to go heavier than usual. Let's say in the deadlift, your 5 rep max is 440 pounds. By taking a short break after each rep, you'll be able to add around 10 pounds to that number, essentially performing 5 reps with your 4RM. Poliquin preferred shorter breaks of 15 to 20 seconds between the singles. I like to stretch it out a bit longer, 30 seconds, which allows more recovery between each effort, so you can lift a bit more weight. Third Poliquin principle, eccentric training. In my previous video, I talked about exercise tempo and how Poliquin popularized stressing different parts of an exercise. He has stated that of all loading parameters that can be manipulated, speed of contraction is the most misunderstood and neglected aspect of training. You can do some pretty cool stuff with weight releasers to overload the eccentric or bands to overspeed it, but that is reserved for advanced lifters. It won't apply to 98% of people watching this, so there's no reason to go into detail on that. But something any athlete can apply with great results is slow, controlled eccentrics. The hockey players I work with have never been exposed to that type of training where you have to control the lowering. It's a completely new stimulus. These guys are always trying to rush each rep because they have been told you have to lift explosively if you want to become more explosive. On the concentric, yes, you want to move the weight with speed and aggression. Also, this depends on the exercise. You're not trying to explode during a seated cable row. It's more of a controlled movement where you focus on a nice pre-stretch and strong contraction in the upper back to target the right muscles. But if you're talking about a squat or bench press, the lowering part is where you really set yourself up for a strong rebound out of the bottom. If you look at the strongest powerlifters, they have excellent control of the bar on the eccentric, which puts them in an optimal position to slingshot the weight up. Regardless of your training status and whether you're a powerlifter or not, slowing down the eccentric part has at least 3 major benefits for any athlete. Since you're no longer rushing a lift, it imprints great technique and correct bar path. This is an excellent way to turn not so good lifters into technically proficient lifters. Prolonging the eccentric part also means longer time under tension, which is great for joint health and building muscle. Very important for an athlete in the early off season to get bigger and healthier after a long, tough sports season where they get banged up and lose muscle mass. And perhaps most importantly, it gets you stronger. If you have never emphasized the eccentric part, you will set new PRs on all your lifts after a single training cycle, focusing on the lowering. To give you an example, one of my pro hockey players went from 45 kilos to 55 kilos on the weighted chin-up in only 3 weeks, where I had him do slow eccentrics of 7 and 10 seconds. That's it for today. 3 extra Poliquin methods you should add to your workouts to build even more strength and muscle. Speaking of making gains through eccentric training, check out this video about the #1 deadlift boosting exercise. I guarantee you haven't done it before the way I show you, and you will love the results it produces. And this video right here where I walk you through a full NHL strength workout so you can train like the pros. Thank you for watching. If you want more great training tips like this, then hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.